Space travel is no longer the exclusive domain of astronauts and highly trained professionals. The universe is slowly opening up to tourists, researchers, and even private companies looking to capitalize on this brave new frontier. And it's all thanks to some incredible innovations in technology. From reusable rockets to 3D printed habitats, here are some of the most exciting developments that are making space travel more accessible than ever before. Before we begin, be sure to hit that like button for more videos, i.e., a new generation of launch vehicles. The biggest barrier to space travel has always been cost. For decades, launching anything into orbit required expensive rockets and highly skilled teams of engineers and scientists. But a new generation of launch vehicles is changing all that. Companies like SpaceX have developed reusable rockets that can be launched and landed safely, dramatically reducing the cost of each mission. SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket, for example, can carry payloads of up to 23 tons to low Earth orbit at a cost of around $67 million per launch. But because the Falcon 9 is designed to be reusable, the cost per launch is much lower than previous rockets. In fact, SpaceX has already recovered and reused some of their rocket boosters, saving customers even more money. But that's not all. This new generation of launch vehicles is also more efficient and powerful than ever before. The Falcon Heavy, another rocket developed by SpaceX, is one of the most powerful rockets ever made, capable of lifting over 64 tons to low Earth orbit. It consists of 3 coordinated launches of the Falcon 9 rocket, with the center core acting as the main booster and the 2 side boosters providing additional thrust. Once the rocket takes off, the center core separates from the 2 side boosters, and then both boosters make controlled descents back to Earth, where they re-caught by SpaceX's recovery ships. Meanwhile, the center core continues on with the payload until it reaches orbit. If all goes well, the entire process is completed within 8 minutes of launch. 2. Advanced propulsion systems. Propulsion is key to getting anywhere in space quickly and efficiently, and new technologies are making it possible to travel further and faster than ever before. For example, ion propulsion systems use electric and magnetic fields to accelerate ions, creating thrust that can last for weeks or even months. This makes them ideal for deep space missions, where traditional chemical rockets wouldn't be able to function. One great example of an ion propulsion system is NASA's Dawn spacecraft, which used an ion thruster to travel to both Vesta and Ceres, 2 dwarf planets in our asteroid belt. The Dawn spacecraft was launched in 2007 and used a conventional chemical rocket for the first few minutes of flight to put it into an initial orbit around the Sun. After that, the chemical rocket was discarded and the ion propulsion system took over. Using just 10 pounds of xenon gas, the ion thruster accelerated Dawn to a speed of 23,000 miles per hour relative to the Sun. This allowed Dawn to reach Vesta in July 2011 and Ceres in March 2012, completing the first ever spacecraft to visit 2 different extraterrestrial destinations. Another exciting development in propulsion is the development of solar sails. These large, thin plastic sheets are mounted on spacecraft and use the pressure of sunlight to propel them forward. Solar sails do not require any fuel or propellant and can provide continuous acceleration over long periods of time, making them perfect for missions that need to travel vast distances. 3. In orbit, living and working. Living and working in orbit is becoming easier and more comfortable, thanks to advances in life support systems and habitat design. For example, the International Space Station, or ISS, is a number of advanced life support systems that make it possible for astronauts to live and work in orbit for extended periods of time. The ISS has a sophisticated air filtration system that removes carbon dioxide from the air and recycles oxygen, water, and other essential resources. It also has a robotic arm that can move around the station and assist astronauts with tasks both inside and outside the ship. But living and working in orbit can be challenging, especially when it comes to sleeping. That's why companies like Space Systems Laurel are developing innovative solutions like the Universal Sleep System, which allows astronauts to sleep in a variety of positions and orientations. This system consists of a restraint system that attaches to the body and a flexible air cushion that provides support and comfort. It's designed to accommodate astronauts of different sizes and shapes, and can be easily adjusted to provide the necessary level of support. In addition to these advancements in life support and habitation, New technologies are also making it easier for astronauts to work and conduct research in orbit. For example, the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, or JAXA, has developed a system called the Extravehicular Mobility Unit, or EMU, which allows astronauts to move around in space with greater ease and flexibility. The EMU consists of a backpack-like device that contains all the necessary equipment for an astronaut to operate in space, including a power supply, life support system, and mobility aid. It also has a jet propulsion system that allows astronauts to move around in space without tethering themselves to the spacecraft. 4. Landing on other worlds. Landing on other worlds is one of the most exciting aspects of space travel, and new technologies are making it easier and more precise than ever before. For example, the Mars Science Laboratory, or MSL, which landed on Mars in August 2012, used a combination of technologies to make its landing as safe and successful as possible. The MSL used a supersonic parachute to slow down as it entered the Martian atmosphere. Then, as it approached the surface, it fired its onboard thrusters to make any final adjustments needed to ensure a smooth touchdown. This same technology was used again in February 2021 when NASA's Perseverance rover landed on Mars. But for even more challenging landings, new technologies such as sky cranes and winged landers are being developed. Sky cranes, such as the one that will be used to land NASA's Dragon spacecraft on Mars in the early 2030s, consist of a platform suspended from a crane-like structure that uses cables to lower the platform to the surface. Winged landers, on the other hand, have large wings that allow them to glide through the atmosphere and make a precise landing. One example of a winged lander is the one that will be used to land NASA's Mars helicopter drone on Mars. This technology will allow scientists to study the red planet in greater detail than ever before. V. The future of space travel. As technology continues to advance, we can expect even more exciting developments in space travel. For example, new materials and manufacturing techniques are making it possible to build stronger, lighter spacecraft that can travel further and faster than ever before. We can also expect to see more innovations in life support and habitat systems that make it easier and more comfortable for humans to live and work in orbit or on other planets. One of the most exciting possibilities for the future of space travel is the development of nuclear thermal and nuclear electric propulsion systems. These systems would be able to travel much faster and further than current chemical rockets, opening up the possibility of exploring the outer solar system and beyond. Nuclear thermal propulsion, or NTP, would use a nuclear reactor to heat a propellant such as hydrogen and then expel it out the back of a rocket nozzle to generate thrust. Meanwhile, nuclear electric propulsion, or NEP, would use a nuclear reactor to generate electricity that powers electric thrusters. Both NTP and NEP have the potential to revolutionize space travel, allowing us to explore the solar system in ways that were never before possible. Of course, there are also risks associated with using nuclear power in space, such as the potential for radioactive contamination. However, these risks can be mitigated with proper planning and technology. In conclusion, space travel is becoming more accessible thanks to some incredible innovations in technology. From reusable rockets to advanced propulsion systems, landing on other worlds, and more. We are entering a new era of exploration and discovery. What do you think about the future of space travel? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos.